Joint Base Lewis McCord, Lieutenant General Gary Valesky.
Well, good morning. Oh, that's weak. I flew all the way up here from the lower 48. Good morning. That's more exciting. Hey, for all our distinguished guests, I want to say thanks for coming up today to observe and participate in our change of command. Before we start, okay, listen up out there. I want you to stretch it out. Eddie, shake it out a little bit. Hurry up, we're going to do burpees. Go ahead, shake it out. You're all right. You can do that. You've been out here a lot longer than that, Ben. Okay, awesome. Get squared away. Thanks for attending today's change of command ceremony. It's an honor to be here today as we pass the colors from Mark O'Neill to Pete Andrysiak. Arctic warriors, the high altitude and cold weather experts of our Army, you look fantastic. Thank you for your dedicated service and sacrifice that you make each day on behalf of our nation. To the 9th Army Band, thank you for always adding something special to our ceremony as you represent the history and traditions of all our Army bands and the roles they played throughout our Army's history. Today is truly bittersweet for me as we welcome a new commander to take the reins of this unit, and at the same time, our Army is losing one of the finest officers I have known or served with in my 35 years of service. Mark, you've done an amazing job, not only over the past 2 years, but during your entire career, leading and taking care of soldiers. And you know better than anyone else we don't do this alone. The higher up we go in the Army, the more we rely on those closest to us, our spouses, to help take care of our soldiers and those most important to them, their families. So I want to highlight the superb contributions of your better half, Household 6 Wendy, who has been an active member of the U.S. Army Alaska family. As a member of the Armed Services YMCA Advisory Board, advisor of the Richardson Thrift Shop, and advisor of the Fort Wainwright Civilian Spouses Club, Wendy, you built a legacy of service that won't be soon forgotten. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to these great soldiers and families. On behalf of Leanne and me and all of America's First Corps, thank you for everything you've done in Alaska and throughout Mark's career in our Army. We couldn't do what we do without spouses like you. Please join me in a round of applause for Wendy. We live in a time of global uncertainty with regional tensions that stretch to the Indo-Pacific theater and beyond. To succeed, our Army requires leaders with a vision who can clearly communicate it, who are innovative, who bring superb leadership to our units, and can inspire our soldiers down through the chain of command at every echelon. And that's what Mark's done. His leadership has provided the vision, focus, and energy required to prepare units to deploy, fight, and win, as well as defend our homeland. USARAK is a unit unlike any other in our Army, a headquarters that is manned at a fraction of what other two-star headquarters in our Army have, but with a mission that requires it to prepare units to deploy to support combatant commanders, but to also support Homeland Defense as part of Alaska Command in support of NORTHCOM. And Mark, you jumped into the fire as soon as you arrived. Shortly after taking command, you prepared and deployed 425 to Afghanistan to train, advise, and assist their counterparts in TAC East. And they didn't stop there. You've continued your focus on preparing units for combat, as 125 will deploy again later this year to Iraq in support of Operation Inherent Resolve and continue training, advising, and assisting their Iraqi counterparts. To prepare the Arctic Warriors for their combat deployments in the CENTCOM AOR, Mark shaped their training paths to include training that featured the integration of other services, components, partners, and allies to enhance our soldiers' ability to operate as part of a coalition or a multinational force. At the operational level, Mark was the Deputy Commander for Alaska Command, a headquarters responsible for ensuring our nation's northern frontier is safe and secure. Under Major General O'Neill's leadership during Vigilant, Shield, Northern, and Arctic Edge, he illustrated USARAK's significant responsibilities in ensuring we were ready to respond to any emergency or threat within North America. During Arctic Edge, Mark commanded a task force that integrated Army, Air Force, Marines, and Special Operations Forces spanning the entire state of Alaska, the first time USARAK has ever done this. But USARAK didn't just host training events. They sent soldiers all over the U.S. and the world to support exercises that build joint and multinational relationships. As an example, the Spartan Brigade executed the largest airborne operation at Fort Hood, Texas as part of Exercise Jade Helm. And over the past 2 years, the Arctic Warriors have deployed in support of numerous Pacific Pathway exercises with our partners and allies in places like Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Japan. These exercises are critical not only for building capacity with our partners and allies, but for enabling us to maintain a presence in the Indo-Pacific region to ensure it remains free and open. But what is truly special about Mark is how he loves his soldiers. He leads by example in all he does, whether demonstrating his expertise at the operational level or getting down on the ground with his soldiers. He's an inspirational leader that makes everyone want to be part of his team. Mark is an expert in his craft and takes time to coach, mentor, and teach those around him, superiors, peers, and subordinates alike. Because he knows the importance of our soldiers' most fundamental and basic skills, Mark and his team developed and implemented a U.S. Army Alaska marksmanship program that is second to none. And when I say second to none, I mean it. His marksmanship teams won back-to-back trophies at the U.S. Army Small Arms Championship, as well as First Corps' two-gun competition. And I also had the honor of being schooled by Mark on how to shoot every time I visited. And I still haven't gotten better than suppressing with a 9mm. But Mark, thanks for your diligent efforts anyway. You've shaped and developed competent and resilient leaders and soldiers that will succeed under any circumstance. Above all, like many of the organizations you've commanded, this one is better prepared today to deploy, fight, and win our nation's war. Our Army is absolutely losing one of its finest warfighters, but your legacy will have a lasting impact on all those who follow in your footsteps. Just look out in front of you, Mark. There they are. I'm honored to say I got to serve with you, but more importantly, I'm honored to say that we are teammates and friends. So on behalf of all of us, Mark and Wendy, thanks for all you've done. Give them a round of applause. Today we start a new chapter in the history of USARAK. We welcome Pete Andrysiak and his wife Casey and their children back to the Arctic Warrior family. They're no strangers to USARAK, America's first Corps U.S. Army Pacific, as they're moving back here from Hawaii, where Pete was serving as USARAK Chief of Staff. And today, I would say it's as nice in Hawaii as it is in Alaska. So you're pretty lucky, by the way, there, Pete. Pete's no stranger to me. I've known him since he was a major serving at Fort Hood and saw him command a battalion. So I know the credentials he brings, and he's absolutely the right commander to take charge of this magnificent formation. Pete, congratulations on being selected, and I look forward to serving with you. Your background and knowledge of the Indo-PACOM AOR will serve you and your soldiers well as we continue to prepare them for the uncertain and complex world we live in. I know you use your expertise in the region and already established relationships with our partners and allies to continue to build these units that are ready to fight tonight in the multinational environment. Again, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Please continue to keep our deployed soldiers, their families, and our Gold Star families in your thoughts and prayers. It's because of their efforts that we remain free and stand as the greatest nation on the face of the earth. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless America's First Corps. Arctic Warrior Courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Major General Mark O'Neill.
General Bob Brown, and of course my wife Wendy. Thank you for everyone for taking the time to be here. I sincerely appreciate the friendship, leadership, direction, and clarity of expectations. That has made our collective purpose clear and easy to articulate at echelon over the last 2 years. General Volesky, thank you very much for the kind words, but more importantly, thank you for the support you've given to U.S. Army Alaska. It has been incredible. Pete, there is no limit to the success you can achieve with this excellent team of skilled, alert, and adaptive Arctic warriors. U.S. Army Alaska is trained and ready to meet all challenges, globally or at home. Congratulations with command, and have fun taking it to the next level. Your accomplishments, coupled with your experiences here in Alaska, will serve the Arctic Warrior family well. Casey, Mackenzie, and Max, Wendy and I welcome you back to Alaska and the Arctic Warrior family. You clearly illustrate the positive impact family has on the resiliency of our warriors. I'd like to thank everyone standing out in the field today. I know these ceremonies aren't thrown together at the last minute, and it takes everyone coming together to include the band, the staff, and the units. You all look great. Command Sergeant Major Ryan Dillingham, Team Dillingham, thanks for all you do and for being super teammates. United States Army Alaska, today's ceremony is about you and what you represent. Y'all are amazing and represent passion with purpose day in and day out. The many accomplishments General Valesky talked about, the improvements we've made, how we train and go after America's Big Six, and the results we've seen from that training have been positive towards unit readiness. The boss mentioned this, but one just an example to highlight. I'm thankful for the hand-selected non-commissioned officers that represent U.S. Army Alaska's sharpshooter program. Keep up the fire, continue to compete, and continue to develop our lethal junior leaders. You are making a difference in elevating our readiness. I am grateful to have served with each of you, too many to mention by name. I challenge each and every one of you in this formation and beyond to never stop investing in each other. Own your responsibility to improve and continue to take care of each other. That's what it means to be an Arctic warrior. The Army is inseparable from the history of Alaska, since its purchase from Russia, from building the Alaska Highway, to ground fighting in the Aleutian Islands campaign during World War II. Soldiers here have always persevered. This group standing before you is no different. As the Arctic region grows in importance throughout the world, U.S. Army Alaska is at the tip of the spear. But we don't do that alone. I'm thankful for the relationships that have blossomed and have been reinforced over the past couple years, from our total Army to the local law enforcement, federal agencies, elected civilian leadership, and our joint teammates, sister services, and our international partners. It is the teamwork and the joint force relationships that drive us to greater achievements. To my close friends and extended family in attendance, thank you all for making the road trip. I remain humbled and grateful with your presence. To my wife, Wendy, thanks for being a great wife, an awesome mom, and being the glue to keep Team O'Neill together. To all, never stop leading, sharing, adapting, or growing. If you do those, we will be better each and every day as an organization and a country. I'd like to go ahead and God bless our service members that are deployed, Gold Star family members, and God bless America. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Alaska Commander, Major General Peter Andrysiak.
So good morning, General Officers, distinguished guests, family, and friends, and thanks for being here today. It's my great honor to stand before you, and I'm humbled to take command of U.S. Army Alaska. I do want to take a moment to recognize some family that's in town. So my dad and my sister Devin from Tucson, and family friend Ilsa, my in-laws Ken and Jeannie Cannon for Central Texas, and I also want to recognize my father and my father-in-law, both served, both Vietnam veterans. Thanks for your service and the sacrifices that you made. My sister and brother-in-law, Julie and Mike from Seattle. I'm proud of your service. It's unfortunate that it was in the Navy. But I love you nonetheless. And then my Uncle Buddy, Aunt Jan Waits, and from Texas, and then many friends that we made, whether we served here before on our last tour, or we worked and played together. Thanks for making the time to be here today. It's very special. I want to take a moment to echo some of General Valesky's thanks. And the 9th Army Band, thanks for all that you do, the class and energy that you demonstrate as soldier musicians. Represents USARAK well, and you always make these ceremonies special. And then to the staff, the USARAK staff and unit reps that put this on today, your hard work paid off. It's been an exceptional event. Thanks very much. To the Arctic Warriors standing in formation, you look phenomenal. Command Sergeant Major Dillingham, great job. The discipline and professionalism on display today is a testament to USARAK's commitment to the profession of arms. And just hang in there a little bit longer. I'm going to flip about 3 pages and get done with my remarks. General Valesky, sir, thanks Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for your generous remarks. And I appreciate your and General Brown's confidence in my ability to serve. And I pledge to do my best with all the energy and commitment I can bring to bear. And the units in Alaska will continue to be ready and be able to deploy, fight, and win, and innovate in any environment, sir. So thank you very much. As General Valesky mentioned, we live in a world of great power competition characterized by increasingly complex global and security environment with a number of challenges to open international order. And as a result, the Army in Alaska must and will remain a ready and rapidly deployable team able to respond at a moment's notice across the spectrum of operations, whether it's in support of a combatant commander, the homeland, or in support of civil authorities. And we're going to do this by focusing really on 4 priorities. There's only number 1, that's readiness. Number 2 is leader development. Number 3 is teamwork. And 4 being a genuine care for soldiers, civilians, families, and our retirees. And I just want to highlight these briefly. Speaking to the priority of readiness and leader development, they're the top of our priorities, and all of our actions and energy will be spent on building and sustaining readiness and investing in developing and the broadening of our soldiers and our civilian workforce. And together we'll ensure we remain the best trained, most highly disciplined, agile, and adaptable units in the Army. We can be rapidly employed by a Joint Force Commander. Right? Much like 125 right now at the peak of the readiness, preparing for their deployment and combat deployment in support of the CENTCOM Commander. And then 425, the Spartans preparing for their culminating training event, Arctic Anvil, then off to a CTC, so they can be employed by the Indo-PACOM Commander, the U.S. Army Pacific Commander, to compete in the Pacific and Pacific Pathways and in Defender Pacific. And then for all the units here on the right, we'll continue to make the investments, and I appreciate all the support that you provide the brigade combat teams. But we'll continue to make the investments in our leadership at the NCO Academy Troop Schools, right, in our very well-known Professional Northern Warfare Training Center. There's no doubt there's some tough work ahead of us, but I know that you're up to the challenge. So on the priority of teamwork, we're going to endeavor to be great teammates. The U.S. Army Alaska will build and sustain cohesive teams in an environment of mutual trust, both within our organization and externally with partners, and ensure that we all succeed. So Lieutenant General Bussier, so I'm looking forward to strengthening and expanding our relationship. The Air Force and Army enjoy an exceptional partnership in Alaska that facilitate readiness better than anywhere. The Joint Pacific Alaska Range Complex is the crown jewel of the military training lands, and we'll continue to work with you that we can go ahead and expand its use. So I also look forward to training opportunities where we can expand multi-domain operations, and build on that, and other capabilities at Echelon. I look forward to serving with you in Alaska Command. For Brigadier General Sachs and our multi-compo teammates, Tori, the integration and synchronization of the total force in Alaska is second to none. We'll continue to expand our shared opportunities, from supporting your state partnership program in Mongolia, total force participation in exercises at CTCs, and then we'll be there if you need us and ask for us for a DSCA response. To the community leaders that are here today, I can't tell you how good it is to be back in Alaska, and we're lucky to live and work in the Fairbanks, North Star Borough, and then also the Anchorage, Matsu communities. Alaska is a very special place, and your warmth and support to the military is unrivaled. And so we'll continue to seek opportunities to build and maintain partnerships, being the best neighbors that we can be. And then to the priority of caring for soldiers, civilians, families, and retirees, U.S. Army Alaska, in conjunction with our local communities, will work hard to develop and sustain the well-being and resilience of our soldiers, civilians, families, and retirees through engaged leadership and proactive programs. So I know Colonel Fisher's outgoing, got Colonel Ruga inbound, and then to Colonel Chang, thanks for all that you do. Your installation support ensures that our formations and families are at the peak of readiness and resiliency, both at Fort Wainwright and Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. So both installations truly set the standard for soldier and family support, and we look forward to partnering with you and other teammates from the Army enterprise to ensure our families are generally cared for so our soldiers can focus on the mission. And so I find myself once again following the footsteps of a great leader, Major General Mark O'Neill. Mark, you've done an impressive job here at U.S. Army Alaska as the commanding general, and you left quite a legacy. And so this is a unique and complex organization, unlike any other in the Army. And I got some pretty big shoes to fill, even though my shoes are bigger than yours. But best wishes to you and Wendy as you embark on your next challenge. The staff has done a phenomenal job during the transition. And Casey and I specifically want to thank the Dillinghams for their hospitality during the transition. And then a shout out to the Birch Hill crew for your very warm welcome. So as I stated before, Casey and I could not be more delighted to be here. We look forward to renewing old friendships and making new ones, and we're deeply honored to be rejoining this amazing team in the land of midnight sun. And then Casey, the best part of me, and you bring out the best in everyone. Thanks to you, Mackenzie and Max, for being a part of this journey. So I'm once again proud to be an Arctic warrior. We train, we fight, and we win in some of the harshest environments in the world, and we're always ready to fight tonight. Not only here in the Arctic, but across the Pacific and the Middle East, or anywhere that the nation calls us to go. And that success is built on you, the leadership and professionalism of the officers and NCOs, and the formation in front of you and the soldiers, underpinned by our talented civilian workforce, dedicated family members, and some of the most supportive communities that I've ever experienced. So in closing, thank you for the warm welcome and the honor of your presence here today. I'm eager to work with you, our joint multi-compo interagency and community partners, and the leaders of USARAK, who instill discipline and are truly committed to the profession and the nation we serve. Arctic Warriors, Arctic Tough, courage.
Staff, attention! Bring your units to attention!